Neuro Q&A show. My name is Jake. I'm your ARPneuro trainer, and with us, as always, is Matt Dell. Good to see you, Matt. And we have a good show today. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. My pick is Buffalo. What is yours?
Okay. It's Buffalo. What? -7.5.
I think that's the number. Yeah.
I think the world's probably all betting Buffalo, which means Denver's probably gonna upset, but you never know.
It's an interesting theory. I was wrong last week, so you could possibly be right.
So was I.
You said the Jets too, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But what are you gonna do? It is our Monday night. So you seem chipper tonight. You in a good mood?
I'm always in a good mood, Matt.
I love it.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Because you work out twice a day.
Please. I need 3 times, but let's jump in it. Well, you know how this starts. I want to give everybody an overview who's on this evening. We got a great guest, so let's get to that. ARPneuro. You can go to the next slide. Basically, the technology's been around for 20 plus years, primarily used by professional athletes, and we're kind of bringing this to weekend warriors and really anybody that's trying to get out of pain or rehab an injury or just preventing injuries with whatever activities that they're doing. You probably have heard all these professional athletes that come back from ACL or Achilles or injuries. I would bet a lot of these players have utilized ARP since we're in the locker room in most of these leagues and in the locker rooms of most of the NFL and NBA and all these different pro sporting leagues as well. So really there's 2 products. There's the RX100, which is a class 2 medical device. It gets up to 500 contractions per second. And then we've got the PRS, which same exact technology. It can contract up to 245 contractions per second. And we're really excited to talk to our guests this evening. They've implemented the PRS into their clinic, and we're excited to hear about their success and how that's worked for them. So
yeah, absolutely.
You'll probably hear more and more about it. We've been working pretty aggressively with not only Logan University, Kaiser University, and they are, utilizing this technology to train their students. It's part of curriculum, as well as they're doing a lot of studies and, kind of fine tuning some of the protocols for all the different, different outcomes that this has for multiple different injuries. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Jake. You can kind of take this one.
Yeah, and we say this a lot, but it's not just your traditional TENS unit. As you see, we don't even have that slide up there anymore. But with your traditional TENS unit, you're just looking at something that's physiological. So both of our technology, both the class 2 medical device and also the PRS, which is the one you see on the picture here, it runs on it's a neurological device. So as you can see here, it not only helps alleviate pain, prevents injury, it accelerates the healing soft tissue process, increasing range of motion, and of course, muscle conditioning and reeducation. One of the biggest parts about this, though, is that it's kind of that preventing the injury portion. A lot of times this will be able to find that source, wake those areas up with muscles that just aren't absorbing force properly, and gets those to fire up the way they should. So it kind of is able to get you back into the game before you lose the game, if that makes sense. It keeps you healthy before that breakdown. Sometimes you can't always see that. So with our device, you do have that ability.
Love it. Good explanation. Yeah, here you can see there are so many common conditions. This is just a sampling. If there's anything on here that you have questions, obviously feel free to email us or go to our website. Email us at info@arpneuro.com. We'd love to get you some protocol and some background. We even have a program where you can try before you buy for a 90-day trial on our website. So feel free to take advantage of that. But yes, so many different conditions, and I'm very excited to listen to our guest and find out, what they've experienced in their clinic and how they're treating, clients, in their clinic. So very excited.
Yeah. So without further ado, I know you guys didn't come on here to hear Matt and myself chirp. So let's get to our guest.
Well, this is a record, so we're doing good. 4:48, and we're done.
It is a record. You are absolutely right.
We're getting better, Jake. Good job.
We're getting ready for that big one. That's 7 minutes, right?
I love it.
We'll have more slides to go through. But yeah, so our guest, she is the spa manager of CryoEffect. It's a cutting edge wellness and recovery center over in Hinsdale, Illinois. Beautiful place. I've been there. It's established with the mission to promote overall well-being. CryoEffect offers a range of innovative services. These services include ARPneuro Therapy, whole body cryotherapy, local cryotherapy, CryoFacials, and the Normatec compression. Their state-of-the-art technology and experienced staff provide clients with rejuvenating experiences, faster recovery, and relief from various health concerns. So please, everyone, welcome our guest, Mariam Schragel. So Mariam, thanks for joining in, and it's good to have you with us, and thanks for taking the time to be here.
Well, thanks for having me.
We're loving having you. So thank you for joining us. First of all, welcome, Hinsdale, Illinois. So you're getting ready to hunker down for the winter, I'm assuming?
Yes, dreading every minute of it.
There you go.
Matt always likes to rub that in since he's safely in Florida now.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
coming back for Thanksgiving. So, but I'd love to hear your story. First of all, how'd you hear about ARPneuro and the PRS?
One of our clients was talking to one of my technicians about ARPneuro, and she was interested in it personally. And so,
Okay.
and I kind of heard them talking in the background, and Jeremy is who our client is. I believe I know he owns one. I think he might be somewhat involved in it. And we just were curious, and we wanted to know, we had been looking at adding something new into the spa that we could, it's always nice to have something new and innovative, that can help with the pain relief that people come in every day for. And we contacted Brian first, and then him and Jake came out, gave us a demo, and then we just kind of jumped on. Jake was great to come back and give us some training, and everyone was really excited about it just from, experiencing it ourselves and the pain relief that all of us have, and, how it's just helped us. So we were really excited. The owners kind of baby stepped into it. And so we, kind of had it on loan for a minute, and then, we finally were able to get one on our own. So
Awesome.
have just been kind of hit the ground running, with it since. The girls are all passionate about it. So if you could see the bin of pads that we have in the spa, we keep all of their pads, with us, and, so they don't forget to bring them. So I have a whole bin full of, people, some that are repetitive, some that felt great and just haven't come back, to do it because we helped them.
It is amazing. Sometimes it's literally, it could be as easy as one treatment.
Yeah.
Other times it takes about 6. But tell us a little bit about yourself and CryoEffect for those that may not know about your facility. Please share with us a little about.
So we are a cold therapy spa.
Okay.
Yep, we are a cold therapy spa. We the main thing that we do is the whole body cryo chamber. That's what the majority of the people come in to either try or do daily. We also do, like Jake said, we have local CryoFacials, Normatec compression, but we also have an infrared sauna. We have another unique thing to us that not really any other cold spa has, is called Beamer Pad. It's pulse electromagnetic field. We also have a T-Shock machine, which is thermal shock technology. It's made by Pagani, and it's where we do our body sculpting. So, fat removal, cellulite removal, skin toning. I tell people that we make you look good and feel good. So I kind of we do everything. The T-Shock also has a pain relief setting on there as well. Mm-hmm. And I just have to mention that has been very successful in combination with the ARPneuro. It's accelerating the ARPneuro even more. So the two together has just been, we're just unstoppable with it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You kind of integrate all of that for, clients can come on, and do they do kind of one treatment at a time, or how do they pick what service to use?
Everyone's different, and we just kind of cocktail it to what their issue is. The other day we had a young teenager who rolled her ankle. She is competitive cheer, and she had something in Mizzou this weekend, a camp that she, for college. So She wanted to get, her parents were like, whatever it takes. And so I recommended the ARP. We did do it in combination with the T-Shock physio, and she did 3 services and she felt phenomenal. She even just after the first, she was like, look, I can walk. Look at me walking. She was really excited about it. And then her dad came in with her the second day and he said, yeah, she wanted to go cheer last night, but they wouldn't let her, of course. She wanted to dance or whatever, so she great success, from a young person. So that was pretty exciting the other day.
Yeah, that's cool. So tell us about some of your, your most exciting success stories of an issue, and what did you resolve, and how many sessions did it take?
So, like I said, with Avery, hers was the combination of 3. I had another man who probably in his late 40s, big weightlifter. He wasn't able to lift his arms, above his shoulder height forever. And he did 10 sessions of ARP, and we haven't seen him since. So, I mean, he'll pop in every so often just to do the whole body, but really, we made him feel bad. He just, even after 3, was like, look at me, and he's like raising his arms above his head. And, so he was pretty excited about that.
So that's a great business model. You fix everybody, they go out and tell 10 people, and then they fixed, and they go tell 10 people. So you basically never have to advertise, because you're fixing everybody and they come in.
Yeah,
we do. Until they get hurt, and then they're coming back, right?
That's right. That's pretty much how our business is run. We rely on those referrals, because people can look up different ways to heal themselves, but unless they hear from someone else that, look at what helped me, this helped me, and that's how we do it. That's how we have to do it.
That's great. And so how do your clients initially react to the PRS, and tell us a little bit about that, because it's a unique experience. Obviously, it's a movement-based therapy. So
it is unique, and it's hard to explain to someone how they'll feel. So when they first, and I'm like, it's not painful, but it's uncomfortable, but you're going to like how it feels, because it's a crazy, I know you guys have experienced it too, but it's this crazy, like when Jake had it on my neck and my shoulders, it was like tickling everything all the way up to my brain, but one thing, and one session, and I felt so good, but usually the reaction is, like, it's like oh my God. They don't expect how to feel, but then they're so excited that, oh my God, I can see where this is going to work. And then we have them moving, and then we raise them up, and we just really, we push them too. We push them to keep going higher and higher, and continue with their movements. Some sessions we do, we kind of started with 10 minutes flipping the cords, and then 10 minutes, and then doing the 10-minute, sleep mode. Some people, and we'll give them a little bit more time if they need a little more time. So most people's reaction is, that was amazing, I need to do more of those. So
especially when you get out of movement, like the weightlifter, perfect example, never been able to lift his shoulders. And maybe, Jake, why don't you kind of shed some light on what was actually happening there, with the technology, what it's doing, and why was he able to kind of get that movement with this the PRS based therapy?
Yeah, and shoulders that's always a good one. I think last time we had Dr. Battaglia on here, and he mentioned that of the hundreds of patients he treats a week, the shoulder is what is his favorite, because we've had such great results, with it. And I think a lot of, it's probably twofold. One of the biggest ones is that you can move through it, and on that eccentric movement, which is often that stretch that you're getting, you're actually able to move through it, unlike most electrical current, where it contracts and you can force it, but you're not able to get a full, lengthening motion. Mm-hmm. So when you're getting those contractions going into those movements, I'm guessing, Mariam, you did probably the anterior delt raise, where you're just kind of going in front and maybe over the head. Perfect movement for this, because as it's contracting, it's loosening up a lot of muscles that were probably tightened like a rubber band, and you're getting a lot of those kinks out. But then, of course, that second portion, just being on direct current, so you're able to get to that intensity and wake up the muscles at a cellular level, just something you just can't do with that traditional take-home TENS unit on alternating current.
Yeah, that's great. That is so exciting. So And you say you've got how many patients or clients do you think you've putting through the treatment of the PRS ARPneuro?
I would say at least 50.
Okay, good.
We've had it since April.
Okay.
At least 50. I mean, my bin is stuffed full, so I mean that's a rough guess. And then most of those have bought packages, so it's not just a one and done. Like they're continually. Some start with 5, some repeat. We've had a couple people buy it, or they'll bring their family in to use it if they've kind of helped themselves. But
Mariam, what would you say the demographics are as far as the clients that you have coming in? Is it athletes? Is it a bulk of one side, or does it just kind of vary from one spectrum to the other?
Honestly, it does vary. I would say the majority of our clients are probably 40 plus.
Mm-hmm.
The Hinsdale parents, but then they'll bring their kids in. So it's that really young. I mean, our probably youngest clients 6 or 7, they're in sports and they have, they like the Normatec, or they do a local. And then I think the oldest was probably in the high 80s. But the bulk of them are the parents. And then we do have athletes. We love our football players. They're the most dedicated. And football players from many schools. It's just not just limited to just our town. The LT boys were in the playoffs, the the Nazareth boys, all these guys are, they're more serious about their play. So they want to get, healthy.
Sure. Yeah. And we have a good question that just came in from Katie Becker. She asks, do you do foot baths? So there's someone who knows a little bit about our technology.
So we haven't done the foot baths. For just the way our spa is set up, we have a bathroom. I don't have a big water source besides our tiny little sink. But we have talked about it with clients, trying to encourage them to buy their own. We have had a client that bought it, but I do know how good it is for plantar fasciitis and neuropathy of the feet. And I would love to be able to do that in the spa, but we just haven't gone there.
Sure. Yeah. So it just gives people a reason who are in your area who have neuropathy or who have or are suffering from plantar fasciitis, go visit her because she does have that capability. So
100%.
We do still do that. We do the feet, but we just don't do it in the foot bath. And it's still very effective.
Yes.
We have the small square pads and the big rectangle pads. So the small ones are better for the feet.
And you mentioned some of the technology that it was in conjunction with. I'm curious because you do have Normatec there, and we have another doctor that has paired those two together. Have you ever done that, or has Normatec just been sort of like something on its own?
Always. So it depends on their issue. If somebody has a hammy issue, then I'm gonna do the Normatec. If they have like the girl with the rolled ankle, then we did the physio. If they're too young to go in the whole body, then we love the physio ARP. The whole body is always something we pair with the ARPneuro if they have to be 13 and older to do the whole body. So that's where we limit with some of our younger ones. But
Matt, have you ever done cryotherapy?
Did I do it or what? I absolutely. I had to do that. It was crazy.
I love cryo.
I enjoyed it. It was. I think you were talking me off the ledge, right? That's the ice, the very cold chamber. Is that right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Your head sticking up and the whole body's getting frozen.
It was. I tell you what, I loved it. Honestly, I can't get in a cold bath. The cold water they have at the club or whatever. I cannot get in that. Mm-hmm. It just this. I loved how it kind of. It gradually got there, and then when it started getting towards the end, and you were kind of distracting me with conversation.
Mm-hmm. Everyone in the spa is very chatty, so we do get through that tough 3 minutes.
Well, and when you told me Jake did it, I said I got out. It's Jake. It was incredible, and it was like you do feel it felt so nice to kind of come out of there refreshed, and I could see how people get used to doing that on a daily basis. without question. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's amazing. I'm surprised there's not more kind of wellness centers like yourself that are not taking advantage of this technology. First of all, it's probably because nobody's watching Jake and I on these Q&As for sure.
Mhm.
Jake's probably boring too many people, but it is
possible.
amazing. Yeah, no doubt. But it is amazing, and it's such a great addition to all the services that you that you offer. I'm sure you were. Tell us. When you first started integrating, how were you gonna? How did you do that, and how accepted was it by your clients?
I hire people that know how to sell more than people that have experience in the field of, health and wellness. My bigger focus, we can teach you, how to use them at the machines. So I have a couple of, including myself, we have some retail background. So when you believe in something and it works, it's easy to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how I felt with ARPneuro from the beginning, which is why I pushed, the owners to get it and prove to them that, we could be successful with it. Yeah.
Well, it's great. I mean, anytime you're helping somebody recover from any kind of injury and they absolutely see the results, it's game changing. Jake and I get to live it every day. We see it with outcome after outcome, and it's as most people are skeptical until you actually have an injury and or you're trying to rehab something like, my son went through that with a broken leg. And he did the ARP and was able to play basketball his senior year after a complete break. It was, I couldn't believe he was able to do it because he didn't get neuropathy and the muscles were able to work out as if he could put, full weight bearing, and it's incredible. And then I'm sure you've seen it with your football guys, right? The LT and the Central. Once one gets fixed, you get a parade of all these kids coming through for sure. Have you ever used it, or have you ever done the concussion protocol on any soccer or football kids? Mm-mm. No? Okay. That's good. I guess
haven't had the need. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Eventually you might, but again, it does have that capability of being able to track it. It's a little different with the PRS, but still has that ability.
Yeah.
My recommendation on that one, if you did run it, is just run it with the 2 leads instead.
Okay.
And just have it traced down to the red lead on the bottom of the foot, black on the back of the pad.
Wow. Okay.
I love it. Yeah.
Good to know.
If anybody has questions, please fire away. So have you always been in the wellness, or is this a new kind of gig for you?
It's a new gig for me. I actually grew up in the retail world. I was a buyer for Nordstrom for many, many years. And my boss for a long time is one of the owners of the spa. So she called me a few years ago and said, I've always wanted to get you to work for me again. Will you manage, my spa? And, like I said, when, I grew up selling, so that's the hook when you run a spa business, that you're selling packages and you're selling people on your product. So she took a new spin, and we've, kind of hit the ground running with it, for the last 3 years. So, and then I hired another person from, our world. And then I have I've hired a couple of estheticians, so we do have a kind of a mix, but like I said, it's just really more, what we do is, we don't have to have a medical license, which is why we have the small, the PRS instead of the bigger unit. But I think, like Jake told me, you really can't mess it up. It's really easy to use. You use your logic really on where you should, pad place, and the great videos that Jake put together.
Yeah,
it's always helpful.
I paid her to say that.
Yeah,
I paid her to say that.
Exactly. It's nice. We've been trying to get a library, so it's so easy. If you get a new client in and all of a sudden you need to know, pad placement or protocols, it's readily available at fingertips. We've got a couple of questions coming in, but I got to tell you, this wellness center seems to be hot and they're popping up everywhere. What are your thoughts on why that is occurring, and why are people gravitating to that type of wellness center?
I think that people are trying to find ways that isn't just pill popping, and surgery, and they want to try to do things more naturally. And that's the majority of our clients. They're trying to find different ways to feel better, and that's, just healthier and more natural. And cryotherapy is just kind of becoming, more mainstream. So the hard part about living here in the Midwest is, it's hard for people to come in the winter to do whole body, which is why I like to have different things. Our sauna gets booked back to back all day, and then we have our tried and trues that are members that still come in every day to do the whole body. And I give them a lot of credit, because you're taking your coat off and your boots and your jeans and your, everything to jump in for 3 minutes. But the best part about it is you're not wet when you're done. It's dry, cold,
Love it.
so it definitely gets easier as you go. So Matt, if you ever come back, we'll have to shove you back in.
I will do that. Count me in for sure.
Put them in for 2 sessions.
I'm a Floridian. My blood's thinning, so I maybe only need 1 minute, because I'm turning into a thin blood. We've got a question that just popped up. How often do you recommend that cryotherapy?
Everyone's different, depending on your needs and what you're working on. I have clients that come daily, some that come once a week. I try to do it almost every day that I work. And when I tell you I hate being cold, I hate being cold. I want to live where Matt lives. But it's just it's 3 minutes. I put headphones in and I listen to a song, and I always say it's one song, so it's just, you feel so good when you're done. It's just exhilarating, and it gives you a jolt, a boost. It's helped me with the cellulite on the back of my legs, and just pain. Obviously, pain relief and inflammation is really what most people come in for. But I tell people whatever you have time for. But for most people, it's a lifestyle. It's just part of, they do their workout and they come in. They work out hard. Let me tell you, the paddle people are the ones that need the most help. I just don't
know all those guys. I was a paddle person. Now I'm a pickle person, because there's no paddle in Florida. But those paddle guys, because they're out there banging around, and I could
in the cold.
Yeah, in the cold, and after working all day behind a computer, and then they're running around when it's cold, playing pickle or paddle. And great sport. And there's so much paddle in that Hinsdale area for sure.
Yep.
So, well, that's good.
Is it paddle or padel? I've heard it said both.
Padel's indoor. It's kind of a combination of pickle, tennis, paddle, racquetball. It's a new and upcoming, sport. But there's only a few padels in the suburbs of Chicago. So,
okay.
I don't know if that's going to take on like pickle, because it takes up a pretty good real estate. It's indoors, and I think there might be a few clubs that have it, but I don't know. Another racket sport. Who knows?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
everyone's heard of pickle though, and that's not been around as long, I guess, right?
I don't know. It's growing like crazy, but paddle's so big in Chicago. As a matter of fact, all the paddle nuts, and I was one of them. It really, really helps you get you through the Chicago winters. There's not a better feeling, and if you haven't played, Jake, when you wake up on a Saturday or Sunday morning and you look out and it is gray and cloudy and cold, you wake up with a smile, because you're going to play paddle, and there's no sun, you got no issues, and it's the only time you're happy, when it's gray, ugly, and cloudy.
Well, that's perfect for Chicago. Yeah. I'm glad I'm in Florida.
And quite frankly, it's the only time you'll see guys that will never shovel their snow off their driveways, but there'll be 6 guys shoveling snow off the paddle court so they can play.
Yeah.
And go figure. I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So how many other clinics do you have, Mariam? Is it just
the one?
Actually,
it's just us. Yep. Just the one in Hinsdale.
Awesome. Well, that's good. And so so tell us a little about these packages, and if there's other wellness centers, what advice do you give them to try to integrate this into their practice? How do you charge and all that fun stuff?
To me, it's one of the best. We charge
Oh, you broke
similarly
up
to
there.
what we charged. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
you
can hear
broke
you
up
now.
for a second. Yep.
Okay, am I back? We charge similar to what we charged with the our physio. So I did end up combining the packages since we were doing so much together with those two services because it's an unbelievable treatment. So they're $80 a session, and then we do sell packages that make the per session price cheaper than that. So for instance, a 5-pack's 300 and a 10-pack is 500. So then, and honestly, everybody needs more than one. I mean, it's unusual for someone to feel better. They'll feel better after one, but they need more than one.
So you're saying the 10-pack is 500?
Yeah.
What a bargain. So that's basically 5 deep tissue massages, but you're getting fixed with 10 sessions.
Yeah. And I always tell people, like, they pay their, yes, we are not, because we're not necessarily, we're not a doctor's office or a chiropractor, so we don't take insurance, but your copay alone when you go to the physical therapist is more than what you would pay for a session to come see us.
Yeah,
so.
True.
I love it.
It's good.
There is one more here, Matt. I think it's more towards mine, so I won't put you on the spot here, Mariam. But the question here is there a quick find for pad placements? There is, if you go to our website, ARPneuro.com, how to use the PRS. So that one for the PRS is there, but also on our YouTube channel, if you go to the playlist there, and it's the protocols, and there's even more protocols even beyond what we have on the website that go into a little bit more detail. And then there's also kind of growing, but slowly, because we've had some other things coming up, and I'll get to that. There's a performance side of it where it's going to have sports specific protocols you can do as well. He also brings up this question: what are the chances of having a seminar to learn this stuff? I know this is coming from a doctor, so we do have this also in a portal that we're working on for the RX that's coming up very soon. It's actually the rough part of it is actually finished, so you'll eventually have access to that as well. And we are going to be setting up something where training is going to be a lot easier, where it's not going to be just one-on-one, where we're always trying to meet schedules. There'll be multiple options where you can get in and learn new stuff, because he's right. We are growing. We get a lot of new updates all the time. So as that continues, we'll continue to update.
That's great. I can't wait. That's exciting stuff. Yeah. It's going to make it much easier for anybody to jump on a training schedule. There might be multiple doctors in there, but it's a great way to learn and take full advantage of, whether it's the RX or the PRS. So
yeah, 100%.
Good stuff.
And just, so I know that you said that the guy that asked the question is a doctor. I know, Jake, when we were talking about it, and you said some of the chiropractors had just switched to the PRS because, it's just most people don't need the bigger machine. Are you still experiencing that? I mean, I had a client that she lives far, so she was trying to find a chiropractor that had the big machine, and she went, and she said it was too much for her.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a great point. We do still have some offices that really have leaned on the PRS for a lot of things. I know there's a few doctors that like it for the movement side of it. So they just tuck it in the patient's pocket, and it's a lot easier for them than using the RX. And it's true for the most part. If the pain levels are low, this technology is going to be sufficient for what you need it. I mean, you're not going to see anything over the counter that's as intense as the PRS. And it's also very rare to max out the PRS. People do it, but it's hard to do. And at that point, if you're in a pain level, we always say, 6 or above. We're hitting numbers 8, 9, and 10. That's when the RX 100, which is our class 2 medical device. That's when that's going to, really amount to a lot more. But for where you're at, the PRS is going to be sufficient for what you're doing.
we had one person that maxed. Everybody else, it's if they get to 70, we're lucky.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. It's even more rare on the RX.
Yeah. And it's really not about the intensity. It's about creating and breaking through those patterns, getting the muscle, regenerated and kind of firing so that it's doing what it's supposed to. But well, this was a good one. This was good. So glad to have you on. Any other questions for you, Jake?
I don't. I just keep up the good work. Hopefully next time I'm in Chicago, it'll be in the summer, and I can't wait to visit you guys and get into the cryotherapy again.
I'm going to come visit you when I'm, either over Thanksgiving or for sure over Christmas.
I will hold you to it.
All right. Good deal.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone. Thanks for dropping by.
Have a good evening.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Take care, everyone.